What if I told you that God's will for your life is not as complicated as you think? You've been praying, waiting, asking for signs, yet the answer has been right in front of you all along. God is not silent.
He is speaking every day.
The real question is, are you doing what He already asked you to do? 1. God wants you to know Him. Before God tells you what to do, He wants you to know who He is. Micah 6:8 says, He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? God's first desire is not your achievement. It is your relationship. He wants you to seek Him, not just when you are desperate, but when things are calm. Not only when you need answers, but when you need alignment. You don't discover God's will by rushing ahead. You discover it by staying close. 2. God wants you to obey the last instruction. Many people ask God for new direction, while ignoring the last instruction He gave. Luke 16:10 says, Whoever is faithful in little is faithful in much. God often reveals His will step by step, not all at once. If He told you to forgive, do it. If He told you to let go, release it. If He told you to wait, remain still. If He told you to start, take the first step. Obedience unlocks clarity. Delayed obedience delays direction. 3. God wants you to walk in love. Jesus made it simple. Matthew 22:37-39. Love the Lord your God, and love your neighbor as yourself. God's will is never disconnected from love. Not bitterness, not revenge, not pride. When you walk in love, you walk in alignment. Sometimes God doesn't change your situation because He's changing your heart inside it. 4. God wants you to trust Him in uncertainty. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You don't need to understand everything to obey God. You just need to trust Him. Faith is not clarity. Faith is confidence in God's character. Even when the path looks unclear, God is still guiding your steps. 5. God wants you to live holy, not perfect. God is not asking for perfection. He's asking for surrender. Romans 12:1 says, Present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. Holiness is choosing God daily, turning away from what pulls you away from Him, and returning every time you fall. Grace doesn't excuse sin. It empowers transformation. 6. God wants you to be fruitful where you are. You don't need to be in a new place to walk in God's will. Where you are right now, your job, your family, your season, is soil. John 15:8 says, This is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit. Faithfulness where you are prepares you for where you're going. 7. God wants you to keep going. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap. God's will is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Even when you don't see results, even when progress feels slow, even when others don't understand. God sees, God knows, God rewards.